Hi, Pastor Nathan Eck with your hashtag Better Together devotion for today. A lot of times for us as Christians, we get very concerned or really hyper focused on the end, as in whether it's the end of our own lives, our own mortality, or the end of everything, like the apocalypse kind of thing. But the reality is that when we look at Jesus and look at Jesus' ministry and Jesus' words in the Gospels, Jesus' lessons to us about what it means to be a disciple following after Jesus, following in his way, the reality is that we come to a vision of righteousness and justice here on earth. That's what Christ taught. That's what Jesus wanted. You find it most succinctly in one of my very, very favorite parts of the gospel, and that's within the Lord's Prayer, found in Matthew's gospel, and the way that we say it often through church. Jesus prays and says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Holy is your name. Your will be done. Your kingdom come here on earth, just like it is in heaven. In other words, what Jesus is implying here is that the goal of Christianity, the goal of our faith, if you want to look at a destination, it's not to some heaven light years away. Instead, it's to make things change here on earth, to have this vision of equity and love and justice and righteousness and holiness be flowing from us. As we receive it from God, as we receive it as a part of who we are in our prayer life, in our spiritual disciplines, in our attendance to church, in the way that we read the scriptures. It should be a channel that flows from us to the world. Just as we have received from God, so we also give to the world from God this message. Now, most of the time, whenever I find myself sitting in the pew or listening to other sermons and other people, a lot of times what I hear is the very opposite of this. I hear folks pushing for a destination ticket for afterlife, or I hear folks bemoaning that the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and that's just a sign of the end times. Jesus doesn't preach this. Jesus doesn't teach this. Instead, Jesus says, things are sometimes bad. You're called as a disciple to make them better. Sometimes it feels like the world's coming to an end, but you're called to be the hope, the candle that's still lit, offering people a vision of what could be, what should be, what will be through my Father in heaven. If we follow Jesus as disciples of Jesus Christ, we are called to be a positive light, changing the world and combating the darkness simply by being different, by sharing, by holding, and by caring. When you pray the Lord's Prayer today, focus on what Jesus is saying. He's calling us to bring heaven on earth, a vision of righteousness and justice for the kingdom come.